Hi, I'm Stephanie Jaworski of joybaking.com. Today we're going to make chocolate dipped coconut macaroons, and this is what they look like. Freshly baked, these cookies have a crisp outside crust, yet inside they are soft and moist and chewy. You know, they're really good on their own, but I especially like them if you dip the bottoms in melted dark chocolate. What's great, these are so easy to make. Not only do they taste good, but quick to make. So first, preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 180 degrees Celsius, and then you will need a baking sheet. I've lined mine with a piece of parchment paper, but you could just lightly butter it or even spray it with one of those nonstick sprays. So, like I said, really easy to make. I'm just using a large bowl. So the first thing you will need is 2 large eggs. Have your eggs at room temperature, and 2 large eggs, if you weigh your ingredients, is about 100 grams. So I'm just going to use a wire whisk and whisk that to break them up. Could you use your stand mixer or hand mixer? Yes, but you know, they're really easy. And then we will need a half a cup, 100 grams of granulated white sugar. Mine's not quite white because it's organic, but same thing. And I'm just adding just a pinch, like 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. And then just 1 teaspoon, 4 grams of pure vanilla extract. That's for flavoring. I like the vanilla with the coconut flavor. I mean, I guess you could leave it out, I guess, if you want to. But try it. It's good. Okay, and we only have one thing left, coconut. I mean, how easy. This is just such a great recipe. If you kind of have a craving for something, a cookie, within 30 minutes you can have a batch of these coconut macaroons. So, coconut. We are using dried coconut. And there's 2 types of dried coconut. There is the sweetened, and it also comes either shredded or flaked. Today this is flaked. That's what the grocery store had. So this is sweetened. The coconut's soft, moist, because it's really dried coconut and sugar. And then this here is again, it's flaked. This is the unsweetened. And there is a difference in the texture when I'm feeling it because it doesn't have any sugar. It's just coconut. It's quite crisp. So the difference, like I said, you could use either type. Actually, I made both using one batch, the sweetened one and the unsweetened. They both have that crisp outside crust. The difference is, of course, if you use a sweetened, the cookies are going to be sweeter in taste. And I find because there is sugar and the coconut is more soft, they're a little more, they're both chewy, but this one is a little more soft in the inside. But you know what? If you asked me which one I prefer, I like them both. So you try it. And of course, a lot of it is, depending on where you live, say the States, a lot of places only have, in your normal grocery store, only have the sweetened. I do now find, when I went to the grocery store, the unsweetened, but sometimes you have to go to like specialty food stores or health food stores to get the unsweetened, so that might be a determining factor which one you use. Today, I'm going to go more of the conventional and use the dried sweetened coconut. This is flaked. You need 3 cups. So if you're using the sweetened, 3 cups, if you're weighing, is 210 grams. If you're using the unsweetened, 3 cups is 150 grams because, of course, you got the sugar in this one. So just the difference, if you're asking why is the weight difference, it's because there's sugar in here. Gives it more weight. So now we're just mixing this and then we're done with the batter. Now, there's different ways to make coconut macaroons. I do have another recipe, so if you go to thejoyofbaking.com, either our YouTube channel or our website, the other one just uses egg whites, and it actually has a little flour in it, so the texture is different. Don't ask me which one I like, because I like them both. They're a little different, but it has that nice coconut flavor, so try them both. See which one you like. So just mix them. I'm just using a spatula. Just mix this. Make sure all the coconut is moistened with the egg. Now, depending on your size, this recipe will give you, I'd say, 20 to 24 cookies. Of course, if you like them small, you get more. If you like them big, less. So there we go. We are done. Now, I like to use a generous tablespoon. If you have like a cookie scoop or ice cream scoop, whatever you want to call it, this is about a tablespoon. So you can do either one. The important thing anytime you're forming cookies is to have them all the same size so they all bake in the same amount of time. You don't want big ones, small ones, because then the baking time will be different. That's the important thing. So about a tablespoon is about 15 grams if you were weighing them. So just like that, kind of looks like a haystack, I guess you'd call it. So I'm going to put like 4 rows of 3. And our last one here. If you have a lot of scraggly pieces of coconut, you can kind of just bring that in, make it a little neater. So now for baking, I'm going to say between, say, 14 and 18 minutes. Everyone's oven is a little different, so I give a range there. I do rotate my baking sheet front to back about halfway through baking to get a nice even bake. So really what you're looking for is them to be a golden brown color. Of course, the darker the brown color, the more crisp that outside crust is, which is what I like, so golden brown. So 14 to 18 minutes. So our coconut macaroons are done. So put your baking sheet on a wire rack. Look, don't they look gorgeous? Beautifully golden brown, just love them. So now what you want to do is just take a spatula and you can just transfer them to a wire rack to finish cooling. So that's what I'm going to do, and when we come back I will show you how to dip the bottoms in chocolate. So now our coconut macaroons have cooled down to room temperature, so now we are going to melt some chocolate. Now, you do not have to dip the bottoms in melted chocolate. They are excellent just the way they are, but I'll show you how to do this. You will need a saucepan of simmering water, and then in a heat-proof bowl, I'm using stainless steel. If you wanted to dip all of them, then you will need 4 ounces, which is 115 grams of dark chocolate. So you can use either a semi-sweet or a bittersweet, whatever you want. Semi-sweet's about 55% cocoa content up to about 70, and then bittersweet 70 plus, so whichever type you want to use. So I did just kind of chop it into loose, coarsely chop, I guess you'd call that. And then what I like to do is add just a little bit, like just a half a teaspoon. You could use butter. You could use a vegetable shortening, or today I'm using coconut oil. Kind of add a little coconut flavor to our chocolate. I find just adding a little bit of, butter or coconut oil just kind of smooths out that chocolate, makes it more, I guess, fluid, I guess the word. I mean, you don't absolutely have to, but I like it to do that. And then I'm just going to put it over there and let it melt. Okay, so our chocolate is melted. I'm just going to take it off the heat. Let's stir. Mine isn't too hot. No, it's at room temperature. If it was a little hot, then let it sit and cool down a bit before you dip your macaroons in there. Now, you don't have to do this, but I'm just going to pour it into another bowl. Just makes it easier for you to see at home rather than in the metal bowl. But you don't have to dirty another bowl. Okay. So now, you just make sure that they've cooled down, your macaroons, and I'm just going to dip the bottoms into the melted chocolate. You can go just right on the bottom, you can dip it further in. If you didn't want to do the bottoms, then you could just drizzle over the top, the chocolate, and then just let it drip off. I'll double dip. So there we have it. And then I just have, you can just use a plate. I just got a baking sheet here. And upside down, kind of put up against the edge, there. And once you finish dipping as many as you want, I just put my baking sheet in the refrigerator, you know, maybe 15 minutes just to firm up that chocolate. So just let excess drip off. Like that. And that's what you do. So I have like these ones I did yesterday, but I'm going to just try it plain. When you, which one do I want? I'll take this one. When they are freshly baked, the outside, I'll just take a bite. Sorry. I don't know whether you could hear that, but that outside is really crisp. And then inside, because we use the sweetened, it's quite moist, it's soft, and then you get that chew from the coconut. It's just, it's delicious. What can I say? Now, like I said, the outside's crisp, freshly baked. If you cover these and, you know, put them in a container and store them overnight, that outside is going to soften. So then what's going to happen is just the whole cookie is more soft and just chewy and moist. Really good either way. I like to, personally, I like to store them in the fridge, like after the first day when I cover and store. I like them cold. And especially if I have the chocolate on there, I'm not going to, well, I could try, no, I won't try the chocolate one, but the coconut is really good. Just, you really get that nice coconut flavor because there's not a lot of competing flavors. A little bit of vanilla, and sugar, that's it. So the chocolate does complement. Coconut and chocolate goes really well together. So you must try these. And until next time, I'm Stephanie Jaworski of joybaking.com.